Welcome to the Delinea Content Studio. How are you doing this RSA?
Great. Thanks so much for having me. This conference is kind of blowing all of our expectations out of the water.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many people and so much interest in the topics that we both represent.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think we've seen this conference this well attended in quite some time. It just keeps getting more and more every year, and I know we have some hot things to cover, so tell me more about these original sins of identity. I'd like to hear more about that from you and what that means and how you define the original sins of identity.
I've been doing cyber for over 30 years, and you find that there are certain things that just repeat themselves over and over. And so I like to call them the original sins, because of a little bit of shock value, right?
Yeah.
Causes people to think about whatever church or belief they have. But also because it's true that it's universal. So identity management, if you say identity management to CISOs and IT people, then they're going to be saying, oh, you're talking about humans, right?
Yeah.
And if you're talking to the development teams, they're going, oh, you're talking about non-human identities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like agentic AI and stuff. And the problem is they both have an original sin, but they're both different. The original sin on the human side with CISO and IT is that they've got different IDPs for workforce and consumer. They typically have a IDP that a homegrown one they wrote 25 years ago that they've been trying to get rid of for 20 years,
yeah.
But it's still around because they have legacy apps they can't get rid of the old one. Then they've got legacy apps that don't even use the homegrown IDP. They just have site files built in. Then you have clouds you're managing identities. So the original sin of human identity is disconnected teams and tools.
Yeah.
On the other side, on the non-human side of it, the developers are hard-coding secrets into their apps, which is the most insecure thing you could possibly do.
Yep.
And so the original sin on the non-human side is hard-coding secrets into their apps. So now everybody's saying you need to bring these two together and manage human and non-human as one thing.
Yeah.
And so you not only have different organizations doing it that don't necessarily want to get in each other's stuff, but they have an original sin that are kind of disproportional to each other. And so being able to provide solutions that allow them to get through that silliness, to actually address the problems, right, is huge. And that's one of the reasons that we at IBM, right, partner with Delinea, because the combination of our technologies do that.
Yeah. Well, you teed up my next question real nicely there, Bob. I was like, tell me about how Delinea and IBM work together to solve those original sins and how we partner to do that.
Yeah, the way to do it is you have to make sure that you don't have a me or nothing, right, point of view.
Yeah.
The way to do an identity fabric is to make sure that whether a client has both of our core technologies, we can still provide value to them to address the fundamental problems that they're facing, right?
Yep.
And so both Delinea and IBM are really good at providing solutions that we can provide the whole solution if you need.
Yep.
But if there's pieces that you don't have, we're very good neighbors, right? We can provide solutions that fit the holes and solve the holes that the clients are having.
Yeah.
You know, we started working with Delinea back when it was pre-acquisition, when it was Thycotic.
Yep.
And the thing that really stood out about about the Delinea technology is that it is by far the easiest to deploy in the universe. And because the problem in your core market of PAM has always been getting it deployed to everybody, deployability is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And so I think we're 10 years into partnering with you guys, and you've still got the easiest to deploy solution, right? And that's why we continue to sell it as well.
Yeah, it's what we're really proud of here is our ease of use, and that's a priority for us to continue to deliver for our partners and our customers.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, you know, we have Agentic AI now. That's endless conversations about that. It's on every single stand at this show.
Everyone.
What's your recommendation to security leaders as they tackle this problem? I mean, obviously it's still new for a lot of organizations. There are different levels of maturity and different levels of adoption happening. You know, they also still need to deal with their legacy hybrid infrastructure at the same time.
Right.
So how are you seeing CISOs tackle this challenge?
The way you tackle that challenge, you have to start at the organizational level and realize that to address the AI, especially the agentic AI stuff, that's generally coming out of the dev teams. So you've got to get out of that mold of let's see if we can find areas between my security team and the dev teams to collaborate. You got to go beyond wishful thinking. You got to go in and say, team, we need the ability, first of all, what if I, as the security leader, can show you where you have 15 different secrets key insert managers managing the non-human identities, so we can work together and pull the human and non-human stuff together, right? So on the IBM side, we acquired HashiCorp last year. So the combination of Delinea for what you do, IBM Verify for what it does, and IBM Guardium for what it does in data, and then HashiCorp with the non-human identities, all of our stuff works together in that identity fabric, and that's how you solve the problem. You got to solve the CISO to the developer problem, and the way you do it is through identity observability, so you have a common visual platform to talk about what the problems really are, and then that gives you permission to solve them across both teams with your technology in mind.
I mean, it just made me think of a couple of themes there in terms of why it's so important to have the power of community, as is the RSA theme this year. All these technologies working together to solve this problem. We know no one platform is a silver bullet. And then for security leaders, like, they really have to shift their mindset, be business enablers, and implement security that enables momentum, which is another area we're super passionate about.
Well, I mean, we've been talking to CISOs about being business enablers for 25 years, right? That's not a new concept. What's new is that the way they become business enablers is by crossing the chasm, if you remember that famous book, Jeff Moore's book from the late 90s, crossing the chasm with the developers and IT and security to get them all working together. Until they're working together, you're just doing window dressing.
Well, excellent points, Bob. Any final thoughts for our viewers at home?
Well, just the fact, make sure you're using technologies that are easy to deploy, open, right, and work together regardless of the environment, and that's what IBM and Delinea do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us at the RSA Content Studio. We'll hope to be partnering with you again soon.
Indeed. Take care.
Awesome.